So in April, I made a video about the Nintendo Switch LAN Adapter, and I titled that video, "Don't Buy a LAN Adapter for Your Nintendo Switch," because something just wasn't right. It wasn't working as intended. We already knew that the USB 3.0 port on the back of the Switch's dock doesn't work as a USB 3.0 port, and I was getting the same, if not better, speeds from my Wi-Fi. Now, with Smash Ultimate out and Sakurai himself suggesting players go out and buy a LAN adapter, and also all the countless comments telling me I'm a goddamn idiot and that I should kill myself, it's time to revisit that LAN adapter. That old video is now very wrong, but there's definitely some tomfoolery happening here. From showering to brushing your teeth, and yes, shaving, we all have our everyday grooming routines. Like me, this is what I do. I nicked myself. No matter your routine, Dollar Shave Club has everything you need to help you look, feel, and smell your best. Shower products, oral care products, hair products, skin products, even butt wipes. And of course, obviously, shaving products. Basically, if you've got a body, they've got you covered. Right now, they're offering their shave, shower, and oral care starter sets for just $5 each. They sent me their shave starter set, which includes the executive razor with a tube of their Dr. Carver's shave butter, and their shower starter set with 3 trial-size versions of their amber lavender body cleanser, citrus and Hawaiian ginger face cleanser, and sage and black pepper shampoo. If you want, they can also automatically keep you stocked up on your products, and you can choose your frequency so you get exactly what you want however often you need it. The best part is the more you buy, the more you save. They call that their handsome discount, which is exactly why I'm promoting it. Right? Join the club with one of their starter sets for just $5. After that, the restock box ships regular sized products at regular price. Get this deal at dollarshaveclub.com/Wulff. That's WULFF. And hey, it helps support the channel too. Thank you very much. I'll see you over there now. In that last video, I give a lot of technical information about how playing games online works and the differences between USB 2.0 and 3.0. And despite all of the comments telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about, all of that information is accurate. In fact, I think it's a very informative video. If you want to learn more about that kind of stuff, I think you should go watch that video after you watch this one. The only thing that I wish that I drove home just a little bit better is that if you have a shitty Wi-Fi connection, then a LAN adapter will absolutely help. I don't know why I have to say that, but apparently I do. Wi-Fi can be unstable or inconsistent. This can affect your ping, which is what measures the responsiveness of your device. Ping is a lot more important for playing video games than internet speeds. This is something that I did not say in my video. I screwed up, and I'm sorry. You don't have to be so mean to me about it, geez. If you have shitty Wi-Fi, ping is going to be a problem. If you have halfway decent Wi-Fi, then ping isn't going to be a problem. Despite all the IT guys coming out of the woodwork telling me wired is always better, we're just playing video games on a Nintendo Switch. We're not transferring 8K video files, all right? Calm down, Linus Tech Tips. I'm always looking at products from the lens of a consumer who doesn't know what the hell they're looking at. And most people are gonna see a LAN adapter and think, oh, internet speeds, this'll be good for me. It's not gonna be good for everybody. Nobody knows what your home internet situation is like. Only you do. And that was the biggest criticism of that video. People telling me I need to learn more about netcode. Do you even know what netcode is? Netcode is a blanket term for anything that somehow relates to networking in online games. According to this same wiki, netcode as a term tends to be used only in the gaming community, as it is not recognized as an actual computer science term. Which explains why I never heard that term used in my high school Cisco networking class, which I did very poorly in. But god damn it, could I calculate a subnet mask? Which I've never had to use in the real world because it's all automatic now. Anyway, I had to get through all of that because I thought that the biggest problem with the Switch's LAN adapter was that the Switch only supports USB 2.0. Even though it has a USB 3.0 port on the back of its dock, that port only works as a 2.0 port. The Switch itself only recognizes USB 2.0. USB 2.0 isn't the best for internet connections for 2 reasons. One, its theoretical max speed is about 10 times slower than USB 3.0, which isn't that big of a deal given we're talking about video games here. But the bigger problem is that the USB 2.0 device has to be pulled by the computer, or in this case, the Switch, in order to send information. That means the Switch has to go, hey, you got any of that information for me? And then the LAN adapter will go, dude, where the f have you been? There's been so much data. Yeah, April Bob wasn't endorsed by Dollar Shave Club. I feel like I have to keep reiterating this throughout the video as kind of like a disclaimer. Even with all of these shortcomings, USB 2.0 might be better for you than what you currently have. But if your Switch's network connection is already fine as is, then a LAN adapter isn't gonna make things that much better for you. So when I tested this hoary LAN adapter back in April, the speeds were absolute trash, to the point where my Wi-Fi was faster. And I never noticed any low ping or instability issues when using Wi-Fi in the past, so I thought this LAN adapter was complete trash. I rationalized these low speeds by blaming it on the USB 2.0 bottleneck. The theoretical max speeds of USB 2.0 are 480 megabits per second. But everybody knows that you never get up that high. It's just a theoretical cap, especially with game consoles. There's some weird phenomenon where console manufacturers will limit their internet speeds. The PS4 is known for doing this. It's super annoying. Anyway, this isn't the problem, because as far as we know, Nintendo still has not updated that port on the back to be a 2.0 port instead of a 3.0 port. In fact, on the spec sheet on their website, they just say it's straight up a 2.0 port. They don't even pretend like it's a 3.0 port anymore. Despite all of this, after testing the LAN adapter now, a whole 8 months later, it works. I'm getting 100 megabit per second speeds. That's blazing fast. I'm gonna leave it connected to my dock all the time now. Initially, I thought that maybe they just enabled the port on the back to be USB 3.0 finally, but nope. The ports on the sides give me the same exact speeds. So what changed here? I don't know. I managed to get my hand on a Switch that hasn't been updated since July, thinking that maybe Nintendo snuck out a firmware update in anticipation for Smash Bros. Ultimate. Nope, that's also getting 100 megabits per second. I tried an old dock too, just in case it could receive firmware somehow. Nope, same speeds. I even tried it on the same exact router that I used before, and nope, same 100 megabit per second speeds. There's some tomfoolery happening here. I wasn't the only person to get those slow speeds out of the official Nintendo network adapter in the past. So it wasn't just me, but I definitely should have tested this more vigorously if I was gonna make a bold claim like that. Maybe I should have tested it on other people's networks or something. Not that my network speeds were that low at the time, but again, I have no idea why any of this happened. I clearly didn't understand why my Switch and my network adapter were acting that way at the time, and I still don't. I'm using all of the same hardware. Now, Sakurai himself suggests that you buy this LAN adapter so that you'll have a better connection. If you aren't happy with the connection that you have right now, then you should absolutely buy a network adapter. If you have a decent connection already, shelling out that 30 bucks isn't 100% necessary, unless you want to make downloading games faster. And this is where I'll get in trouble for this video. Just like every other fighting game on the planet, Smash uses a peer-to-peer connection when playing online. That means that if the person you're playing against has a connection, you will also have a connection. If you're playing a 4-player match and one person has a connection, then everybody will have a connection. Eric, playing on your mobile hotspot. Eric said, I'm using my phone internet because I'm not at home. No. It shows 14 down and 5.6 up, which is great, but it's phone internet.
I mean, all things considered, 4-player match with phone internet, it was running pretty good. Now that I know that.
He said it doesn't work like when I watch streams and play at the same time. He was also watching the stream. Yeah, and this is the reason for all of the problems that people have been complaining about. If everybody in the world buys a LAN adapter for the Nintendo Switch, then Smash's online might be a little bit better. But that's not going to happen. And that's not going to help the people in the middle of Kansas who have a connection to their ISP. A lot of people in the fighting game community like to think that peer-to-peer connections are the best connections to have because they're the fastest. These people think that Dedicated servers add a third computer into the mix that could slow things down or add an additional variable that could go wrong. This isn't true in the slightest. A dedicated server acts as a buffer. It's the middle point between the two connections. If one person's connection is crappy, the other person's connection will be unaffected. This stops people with garbage connections from ruining the game from everybody else. I'm trying to make sure that I do my best not to leave anything out in this video. Another argument for peer-to-peer connections in fighting games is the input lag. If there's no dedicated server, then your input will automatically be transferred to the other player. If you've ever played Smash for the Wii U, you know that this isn't the case. I'll link below a Reddit post that describes it better. Actually, I'll also put it on screen real quick so you could just pause it. Okay, goodbye. The only reason that fighting games don't have dedicated servers is because it would be really expensive. And all of the games are one-on-one, so there's so many games happening at once. The difference between Smash Brothers and every other fighting game is that there's 4-player matches, but also, it's on track to being the best-selling fighting game of all time. The current top 2 best-selling fighting games are Smash Bros. Brawl and Smash Bros. For the 3DS. I get why there's no dedicated servers, but latency isn't the excuse. It's the worst excuse. So I've been playing Smash Bros. Online with and without the LAN adapter, and there really haven't been too many issues. The LAN adapter isn't going to make you miraculously impervious to slowdown. That will still happen. But playing Smash Bros. Online isn't as bad as everybody says that it is. Just stay away from 4-player battles. You're about 3 times more likely to run into problems if you do 4-player battles. The official LAN adapter for the Nintendo Switch isn't as bad as I once thought it was. It does its job, and it does it well. I also tested the aftermarket USB 3.0 adapter I used to use on my Wii U, and that got pretty much the same speeds. So you don't need the official Nintendo one. If you want to increase your download speeds, or if you have stability issues when playing online games, or if you just want to ensure that you have the most stable connection possible, then a LAN adapter will do the trick. My opinion has changed. I will now change the name of my previous video to my problem with the Nintendo Switch's LAN adapter, parentheses, update in the description, close parentheses. Does that make everybody happy? Yeah, I saw that coming. So what do you guys think about network stability on your Nintendo Switch? How has Smash Bros. Online been for you? Is there anything you've done that noticeably makes it run better? Like, for example, buying a LAN adapter? Or are we just forever doomed to sometimes play games in slow motion? Leave it in the comments below, at me on Twitter. All this social media garbage, I'm sure you're gonna do that anyway. What about the whole point of this video? Are you just like me? Did you have a LAN adapter in the past that had terrible speeds, but now all of a sudden it has great speeds? I wanna hear from you the most. Because maybe I'm not crazy, maybe that's a thing we can get to the bottom of. I just wanna take a minute to say how dope my outfit is. When you wear something open over the shirt, it looks nice as hell. You can get that over at wolfdenapparel.com along with the other stuff. People love this hoodie. Of course, we got new videos all the time over here. Schedules in a pin tweet over on Twitter. We got live streams here on YouTube and live streams over on twitch.tv/wolfden. Come on down to one of those live streams and we can talk to each other live. But of course, the most important things that you can do to help support this channel is just subscribe. That's it. That's all we need. And chances are you're watching these videos through your suggested feed on YouTube. One day, YouTube's just not gonna suggest them to you anymore, so you wanna subscribe so you keep seeing this. That was a bad sell. But of course, share this video with a friend. That's the other important thing you can do. A friend who has an awful connection, a friend that you've been playing Smash Online with, and it's slow motion the whole time. Thank you guys very much. You have yourselves a very good week.